Imagine a rocket so powerful it could carry humanity's ambitions to the moon, Mars, and beyond. On January 16, 2025, the world witnessed such a machine, Blue Origin's New Glenn. At Cape Canaveral, Florida, the ground trembled as the massive rocket ignited its 7 BE-4 engines and tore through the morning sky. It wasn't just a launch, it was a signal, a declaration. The message? The moon is no longer a distant dream. This wasn't NASA or SpaceX making history. It was Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin, stepping into the spotlight with a vehicle that could change how, when, and even why we go to the moon. And make no mistake, that single flight didn't just succeed. It rewrote lunar exploration plans. Blue Origin's giant leap. For over 2 decades, Blue Origin had been quietly developing rockets, often overshadowed by Elon Musk's SpaceX. Founded in 2000 by Jeff Bezos, the company had ambitious goals, but progress was slow, and critics wondered if it would ever catch up. Then came New Glenn. Named after John Glenn, the first American to orbit Earth, this towering giant stands 320 feet tall with a 7-meter-wide payload fairing, the largest in commercial spaceflight. It can lift a staggering 45 metric tons to low Earth orbit and 13.6 metric tons to geostationary transfer orbit. To put that into perspective, that's like sending a fully loaded school bus into space. Its secret weapon? Reusability. The first stage is designed to fly up to 25 times, landing on a recovery barge at sea. Powered by 7 BE-4 engines running on liquid methane and oxygen, New Glenn was built to make heavy lift missions cheaper, faster, and more frequent. The NG-1 maiden flight was a historic moment. Launching from the rebuilt Launch Complex 36, the rocket carried the Blue Ring prototype spacecraft, a platform for refueling satellites and transporting cargo in orbit. Yes, the booster missed its landing due to a propulsion issue, but that didn't matter. The mission achieved orbit flawlessly, proving New Glenn could deliver payloads with precision. CEO Dave Limp summed it up. "I'm incredibly proud New Glenn achieved orbit on its first attempt." This wasn't just a win for Blue Origin. It was a shift in the power balance of space exploration. Why the moon is the real prize? The moon isn't just a bright object in the night sky. It's a gateway to Mars, to deep space, and to a permanent human presence beyond Earth. NASA's Artemis program is leading the charge to return astronauts to the lunar surface, aiming for a sustainable presence by 2030. But such an ambitious plan requires rockets that can haul heavy landers, supplies, and scientific equipment. Until now, NASA leaned heavily on SpaceX's Falcon Heavy and Starship. But relying on one company is risky. That's where New Glenn changes the game. With its enormous payload capacity and compatibility with Blue Origin's Blue Moon lunar lander, New Glenn adds a powerful new option for Artemis missions. The Blue Moon lander, in both cargo, Mark I and crewed Mark II versions, could become the largest spacecraft to ever touch down on the moon. And now it has a rocket capable of delivering it. How one flight changed the plan? New Glenn's debut didn't just prove it could fly, it shifted NASA's strategies and timelines. The NG-1 mission wasn't a cautious test, it was a full-scale demonstration of capability. The rocket blasted through Max Q, the most intense aerodynamic pressure, and performed complex 2-stage burns to place its payload into medium Earth orbit. This was more than impressive, it was essential. Lunar missions demand precision, power, and the ability to handle multi-step maneuvers. New Glenn showed it could deliver all 3 on day 1. For NASA, this meant something critical: redundancy. Instead of depending solely on SpaceX, Artemis missions can now split heavy lift tasks between providers. That's a safety net for a program that cannot afford delays. Already, NASA is considering assigning New Glenn to major Artemis milestones, starting with the Blue Moon Pathfinder Mission 1 in late 2025. The Blue Moon lander is central to Blue Origin's lunar vision. The Mark I will carry cargo and scientific gear, while the Mark II will transport astronauts. Both versions are big, really big, and New Glenn's enormous 7-meter fairing is the perfect delivery system. Before January 2025, doubts swirled around Blue Origin. The company had taken 25 years to reach orbit, while SpaceX did it in just 6. Skeptics called them slow and overly secretive. The NG-1 launch silenced many of those critics. Blue Origin proved it could deliver on heavy lift promises. Now NASA can plan Blue Moon's role in Artemis without hesitation, potentially making it the largest spacecraft ever landed on the moon. SpaceX has shown that reusable rockets cut costs and make spaceflight routine. New Glenn aims to push that further, with a 25 flight goal per booster. Yes, NG-1's booster missed its landing due to a fuel delivery issue, but Blue Origin has already identified the problem and scheduled a fix for spring 2025. Reusable New Glenn boosters could slash the cost of lunar missions, freeing funds for more launches and bigger projects, like lunar bases and ice mining operations. New Glenn isn't just NASA's asset, it's also Amazon's workhorse for Project Kuiper, a massive satellite internet network aiming to compete with Starlink. By handling large-scale commercial payloads, New Glenn indirectly frees other rockets for lunar work. And with each commercial launch, Blue Origin refines its systems, reduces costs, and gains experience. Commercial profits from Kuiper and other clients could help fund more lunar missions, meaning private and public goals push each other forward. The psychological effect of NG-1 can't be overstated. SpaceX has dominated headlines for over a decade, but now there's a rival capable of matching, and in some ways exceeding, its heavy lift capabilities. What's coming next? Blue Origin isn't hitting the brakes. In fact, 2025 is shaping up to be its busiest year yet. The company is aiming for 6 to 8 New Glenn launches, kicking off with a high-stakes booster landing retry in the spring. On the manifest, the Blue Moon Pathfinder Mission 1, testing critical cargo delivery tech for future lunar landings. NASA's Escapade Mars mission, proving New Glenn can go deep into the solar system, and multiple Project Kuiper launches, laying the commercial groundwork for tomorrow's exploration. Thanks to the rocket's powerful debut, lunar ambitions are accelerating. Expect more frequent launches, a wider range of missions, and the very real chance of seeing astronauts set foot on the moon again by 2026. For space fans, the countdown isn't just on, it's racing ahead, a turning point in space history. The New Glenn's first launch was more than a technical achievement. It was a statement. Blue Origin can deliver, it can compete, it can help put humans back on the moon. Dave Limp said it best, "We'll learn from this mission and aim to land the booster on our next launch this spring." That combination of ambition, proven capability, and willingness to adapt is exactly what lunar exploration needs. In conclusion, as the dust settles, both literally at Cape Canaveral and figuratively in the space industry, one thing is clear: New Glenn has changed the game. With unmatched payload capacity, a reusable design, and missions already booked for both commercial and lunar goals, the rocket is set to make moon travel not just possible but practical. The moon, once a rare destination, could soon be a regular stopover, the first spaceport for humanity's push into the solar system. And on January 16, 2025, the path to that future got a lot shorter. If you enjoyed this video, hit the bell icon for more luxury informatics content, share your thoughts in the comments, and thank you for watching.